Call the meeting to order. This is the regular board meeting of the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, May 24th, 2024. The board did meet in executive session. No votes were taken. Discussion of projects, progress, and legal matters. So we'll start with the roll call.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Peg McCormick Barron.
Here.
Jamil Bay.
Here.
Michael Demont.
Here.
BJ Lieber. Here. Alex Shuley.
Here.
Erica Strasburger. Here. We have all board members are present. No public comment registered for today. For the end.
Thank you.
And James Martin is here as well.
Thanks, Jim. All right, so we'll start with the approval of the minutes from last month of April 26, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the minutes of April 26, 2024, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any extension? Okay. Minutes are approved. Confirmation of CDO approvals. All approvals from the prior month are confirmed. And we'll move to staff reports and updates. Start with finance department. Okay, Kevin, you've been the featured speaker the last couple of
I
months.
know. On quite a roll. Good morning, PWSA board members. The financial status report or update report included in your board packet is through April 30th, 2024. Within the report, you will see that year-to-date receipts total approximately $68.1 million or 28.5% of the total budget. PWSA has experienced stronger than expected receipts in April from wastewater conveyance, stormwater, disk wastewater, and other miscellaneous and fee charges by collecting $7.8 million compared to the budget amount of $7.3 million, representing an increase of approximately $500,000. Water receipts in April totaled $11.4 million compared to the budget amount of $11.7 million, representing an under collection amount of approximately $300,000. Total forecasted year-end receipts are expected to total $238.8 million, representing an increase of $295,000 or 0.12% as compared to the adopted budget. Departmental operating expenditures through April 30th, 2024 total $32.8 million or 25.07% of the budget. Capital expenditures through that same time period total $34.9 million or 18.9% of the adopted budget. Alcosan receipts through April 30th, 2024 totaled $29.9 million with $32.9 million in expenditures. This means the PWSA has remitted $3 million more to Alcosan than collected. $39.7 million in debt service costs have been paid through April 30th, 2024, which is 46% of the total budget. Forecasted year-end debt service is projected to be $85.4 million. Which is approximately $153,000 lower than the adopted budget. PWSA's cash balance during this time period is $79.7 million, which is $2.5 million lower compared to April 30th, 2023. It is forecasted that PWSA will end the year with 203 days cash on hand, which is slightly higher than the budgeted amount of 199 days cash on hand. This concludes my report for today. I will turn it back over to the board for any questions.
Thanks, Kevin. Any questions or comments, Kevin, on the finance report? Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, engineering department, Rachel.
Good morning, Chair Shuley and members of the board. I'll begin with an update on our lead service line program. Progress continues, and a total of 11,236 public and 7,972 private side lead service lines have been replaced through May 22nd across all contracts. Verification work across all contracts is currently ongoing in Marshall Shadeland, Homewood North, and Larimer neighborhoods. Replacement work is currently ongoing in Perry South, Bluff, Marshall Shadeland, Spring Garden, Homewood North, and Larimer. In total, we currently have 6 active construction contracts involving lead service line replacement in various stages, including verification, construction, and restoration. These include 2 small diameter water main replacement contracts, 3 neighborhood lead service line replacement contracts, and 1 urgent lead service line replacement contract. Today, I'll be bringing forward resolutions for 3 new neighborhood lead service line contracts, which are being funded by a $32.1 million PennVest loan. With these contracts, we anticipate working at about 3,900 locations and replacing around 1,300 public and 1,200 private lead service lines. These numbers are subject to change based on budget and our lead service line verification process. Moving on to our water reliability plan projects. Construction is continuing on schedule for the Highland Reservoir Pump Station. The installation of the 56 foundation caissons was completed at the end of April. Current work includes the installation of subsurface utilities and protection measures for PWSA's existing 54-inch transmission main. For the combined Aspenwall Pump Station, Brecken Pump Station, and Clearwell Bypass project, we are continuing to prepare the project documents for DEP's technical review as required by our PennVest funding. Design bids were received on May 9th for the Aspenwall and Fox Chapel interim feed project, and design will be awarded to Brown and Caldwell. And finally, on water reliability, design bids were received on May 16th for the Clearwell replacement project, which is the capstone of the water reliability plan. We are currently evaluating the 5 proposals that we received for that project. In other construction updates, the sludge chamber project at the Pittsburgh Water Treatment Plant is moving along. As part of this project, we have completed the permanent closure of the outfall from this structure, which had been bolted shut but now has been permanently sealed. And this important activity was a requirement under our administrative agreement with EPA. Engineering and Construction Department is making progress on the intensive process of evaluating the RFQ submissions, which will establish multi-year agreements with on-call consultants. And we still anticipate completing that process by mid to late June. In project bidding updates, the following projects are currently out for bid for engineering design. The 2024 small diameter water main replacement contracts A, B, C, D, and E. And the following projects are currently out for bid for construction: the lime slurry system and sodium permanganate system improvements, general mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. On May 8th, PWSA held a virtual outreach event for engineering consultants to learn about upcoming bid opportunities for design work. The engineering team provided overviews of the raw water intakes, sedimentation basin rehabilitation, and Lincoln Pump Station and tank improvement projects. This was a successful and informative event with over 75 individuals representing approximately 50 companies in attendance. Finally, PWSA's 2020 large diameter sewer rehabilitation project received a National Engineering Excellence Award from the American Council of Engineering Companies, aka ACEC, and was recognized at the ACEC Awards Banquet in Washington, D.C. on May 15th. The National Recognition Award is a prestigious distinction awarding projects demonstrating exceptional engineering excellence at the national level. Thank you to GPD Group for submitting this nomination, and congratulations to the GPD and PWSA design teams. This concludes my board report, and I will turn it over for any questions.
Any questions for Rachel? A couple comments. One, sounds like you had a good turnout on May 8th. So you had
was great.
50 firms, 75 people.
Yeah, that was
good.
great.
It's good. Were the lots of new firms? Same
It
firms?
was a mix.
It was a mix.
It was a
Okay.
mix. Yeah. Yeah. I counted up about 50 companies represented. So it was good to see that. Yeah.
And then the on-calls, the review of the on-calls, will they be completed by the time we meet in June?
That's the anticipation.
That's the plan.
Yes. That's the plan. So hopefully in June, I'll be able to announce that that process is complete.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay,
Let me also add, congratulations on ACEC. I was just there as a featured speaker, just before that was presented in Washington DC at ACEC. So that's a big deal. Congratulations.
thank you.
Great. Any other comments or questions? All right, thanks, Rachel. All right, we'll move to the Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer Report. Mr. Sederi.
All right, good morning, everyone. So this last month, I had the opportunity to speak at Pennsylvania's American Water Works Association annual conference. Before I go on my remarks, also say that Julie Meckling, our Director of Customer Service, also participated on a panel in regards to building public trust there, and it was very, very well done in getting in front of our peers. The presentation that I was able to give was entitled 1 or 100, Managing Your Non-Water Storage Tanks. And this really provided us an opportunity to discuss our chemical and fuel storage tank program with a number of our peer utilities that were in the room, along with some of the consultants there. We currently manage around 125 non-watered storage tanks throughout our system. And the Environmental Compliance Group helps perform regular inspections of those, maintenance with our operations department, permitting, as well as some of the reporting that we need to do to maintain compliance, help us assure water quality, as well as protect the environment for these tanks. We currently have a bunch of projects going on that include work with our non-water storage tanks. They're a very important piece of our system. The Environmental Compliance Group's been working closely with our engineering team to assure proper installation, inspection, as well as registration of the storage tanks prior to their handover to our operations group for use. Some of those projects include the liquid lime and sodium permanganate project, which is currently out to bid. That'll take place at the water treatment plant. And there's other ones at the water treatment plant, our Heron Hill Reservoir, our Highland Reservoir Pump Station, and our Lanford Reservoir, which are currently in some phase of construction. All of these projects involving storage tanks are very important components of our infrastructure renewal as we continue to renew and replace some of these tanks, and are critical to, again, to helping us maintain drinking water quality. At the conference, I was also able to sit in on a number of presentations regarding PFAS. A lot of sections of it was of interest, and I thought I would take a moment to present some information regarding PFAS to you here this morning. So PFAS compounds themselves, may be referred to or known as forever chemicals sometimes. They really are a group of compounds that were utilized in many different types of products, including home goods, textiles, personal care products, various types of coatings, firefighting foams, and other uses that took advantage of some of their water repellent and non-stick properties. Unfortunately, these compounds, which were produced by others, are persistent in the environment and could be present in some water sources. PWSA first began testing for PFAS in 2014 as part of EPA's third unregulated contaminant monitoring rule, or UCMR3. And we've been testing for them ever since on a very regular basis, and sometimes quarterly since about 2018, collecting that data. And as such, with that 10 years of monitoring data, we're pretty well informed on the subject. And we've also had the opportunity to discuss that with the Water Quality Advisory Committee that some of the board members sit on. In 2023, the DEP promulgated regulations setting PFAS limits and monitoring requirements for public water utilities within the state of Pennsylvania. And these regulations went into effect at the beginning of this year, the first quarter of 2024. In April of this year, the EPA also promulgated national regulations that set more stringent PFAS levels, as well as established monitoring, reporting, and treatment timelines, as well as requirements. Based on the proactive test results and compliance monitoring in the first 2 quarters of this year, PWSA has not detected any levels of PFAS exceeding the current DEP or EPA regulatory limits. These results continue to provide assurance that the authority is providing a quality water supply for our community. However, even with these good news here, we're not necessarily resting on these test results and are continuing to perform both the compliance testing that we're required to do, as well as actually test beyond that at other areas for process monitoring to continue to monitor for PFAS beyond the regulations. I've had the opportunity to discuss PFAS with both our engineering as well as our operations departments to think about concepts that we can consider for future implementation and be prepared for any changes that may occur within our water supply or future regulatory changes that are really outside of our control. If you want any additional information, or the public does, on PFAS, we have that information on our website. So go to pgh2o.com, and you can just search the word PFAS, and there's test results and other general information on PFAS available there. Very compliance focused here today, but as I always let you know, as well as our board, contractors, consultants, if there are ethics concerns or environmental questions, I'm always available for those. So thank you.
Great. Any questions?
Frank? I have a question, Alex. Frank, you referred to the non-water storage tanks and construction of new ones and at various sites. And I'm just not familiar enough to know, are they fixed site structures, or are they movable, or are you replacing existing and building new? If you could clarify that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah, so first I mentioned non-water because these are different than our potable water storage tanks that are acting as reservoirs or tanks for the water being delivered to our customers. These particular tanks are fixed tanks, so they're located generally at a facility, and they hold various chemicals or fuels that we use through the treatment process or to fuel engines and things like that. So they are fixed structures. The projects that I referred to, in general, they were all renewal of existing tanks, where we've had tanks that might be 20 or 30 years old and now need to improve both the tanks or maybe the secondary containment around them to make sure that we're complying with regulations. So it's a renewal of existing storage tanks.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? I just wanted to say that at the beginning of your presentation, you said you and Julie were at the conference in support of building public trust.
We were. Julie sat on a panel specifically discussing public trust and talked about some of the things we're doing at the authority, so that others could hear about that news. Yep.
Sure. As Eric can testify, and we see every day in the news, and this is a challenge for the entire nation. And happy to hear that you were there for that type of support. So
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, Chief Executive Officer's report.
Well, good morning, Chair Shuley, members of the public, PWSA staff and consultants. It marks a quarter, and so I get to do one of my favorite activities, which are the PGH2O Employee Excellence Awards this month. So up first, we have Lavinia Falk, who is a chemist 2 at our lab, which is based at our Pittsburgh water treatment plant. And those who nominated Lavinia, explained that she is intelligent, competent, and caring. She is a role model to all employees at the plant, and she undertakes her duties and responsibilities with an intense ambition, enthusiasm, and pride. Throughout the year, Lavinia displayed commitment to PWSA and was a solid example for her coworkers. She's actually in the room today, so I'm going to embarrass her and ask her to raise her hand. She's hiding in the back. She recently completed all the necessary requirements to become a fully certified operator for PWSA, which is a very big deal. And in doing so, she became actually the only chemist on staff with this certification, all while completing her requirement in just 2 years and obviously keeping her daily duties. So please do congratulate me in recognizing Lavinia. I learned very recently she just purchased a home and is a bird watcher. So I wanted to put in that personal tidbit, but congratulations, Lavinia, and please keep up the great work. Our next 2, it's actually a tag team. Oh yeah, let's do it. We rarely have someone here in person. Thank you, BJ, and appreciate Lavinia taking the trip to join us this morning. Next up is a tag team based on a project accomplishment. Maria Mahalik, who is our dispatch coordinator in the customer service department. She is the manager of the folks who operate our 24/7 dispatch line, and Megan Hicks, who is our senior GIS analyst in our technology service department. They worked together for a project that was our interruption of service improvement project. And so this critical project is a daily part of our operations at PWSA. As many of you know, emergency situations like water main breaks or planned maintenance activities require us to put customers out of service. And it's very important for us to communicate with those customers to let them know when we're going to return them to service, but then also really helpful for us internally at any given moment to know how many customers are out of water, where they're located, and the status of those campaigns. And part of the way that we communicate with customers is that we issue robocalls based on what we call those iOSs. And previously, before this project, it was a very analog process. We would receive emails. Actually, our public affairs department was responsible for the robocalls. And by working together, both Maria and Megan developed a system where now our dispatchers are making those outbound robocalls to our customers. And they have created a GIS-based map and a dashboard tool that I have found very interesting and useful to see on a map base who is out of water and where we're working in different areas of the city. So really a fantastic project that has multiple benefits. So please do join me in congratulating Maria and Megan. Maria is actually a new mother. She has a baby boy of 6 months. And I also learned Megan recently is also a bird watcher. So she's out of town on a bird watching trip. There's something with bird watching and excellence. We're going to put it together and maybe I'll steal some of that secret sauce. But please join me again in congratulating those two for that accomplishment. And then finally, I'll just wrap up. I was thrilled to learn yesterday, there were rumors, but it was official that the U.S. Water Alliance is going to be hosting its One Water Summit here in Pittsburgh in 2025, which is the next time that group is getting together. And this is from their press release announcing, it says, "We're looking forward to holding our signature event in a city that has served as a national model for centering water equity, advocating for sustainable water policies, removing lead service lines, and driving large-scale infrastructure projects." And everyone at this table and in the room and all of our staff are contributors to those accomplishments, and really nice to see that recognition. Jamil is an inaugural member of our Water Equity Task Force, which is hosted by the U.S. Water Alliance, played a key role in attracting them to host or to have their event here in Pittsburgh. The event in 2023 recognized our board member and council member, Erica, for Public Official of the Year. So it's an awesome event. Last year, it attracted about 1,000 visitors. You know, maybe we can double that here in the city of Pittsburgh. And as Eric and I were chatting, who needs the NFL draft? This is the water industry's version of the NHL draft a year sooner. So July 8th to 11th, mark it down and be on the lookout for more there. But with that, Chair Shuley, that wraps up my remarks. Happy to answer any questions folks may have.
Any questions or comments for Will? Well, first of all, congratulations to Lavinia, who's here in person, Maria, Megan, wonderful honor. Lavinia, it's a beautiful name. And this conference, that's pretty exciting. I'll definitely mark our calendar for that. And I did want to say that I got my 2023 year in review. And looked at it, obviously was familiar with a lot of the accomplishments, but not all of them, you know, in the detail that was in the review. And I thought, you know, that was a very good piece. I assume that's on our website.
It is.
It's on the website. So ratepayers, consultants, all of our stakeholders, feel free to take a look at that. I think it's a very impressive document in terms of the accomplishments of the authority. Congratulations to you, Will, and to your staff. For all of the fine work that's been done at the authority. Felt like, you know, this was sort of like the controller's report, Erica, that comes in May, you know, from the previous year. I was thinking, well, we're going to get this out just maybe a little bit sooner so that we can celebrate 2023, but it was a great document. So congratulations. All right, we'll move to resolutions. We start with resolution number 30. And Kevin, you're back up there. Sounds like it's going to be you and Rachel today for your show.
Resolution number 30, authorizing the application and agreement for Alcosan's Grow Grant Program for the Southside Flats Sewer Separation Project.
Great. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second. Moved to second. Any discussion? What is the amount that we're talking about here?
The approximate amount of the project is around $11 million.
All those in favor of resolution number 30, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 30 is approved. We move to resolution number 31.
Resolution number 31, authorizing the application and agreement for Alcosan's Grow Grant Program for the Southside Park Green Stormwater Infrastructure Project.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. You moved it seconded. Any discussion?
Just want to
continue to thank Alcosan for their program for allowing these types of projects to continue. I mean, this one has been in discussion for years now. I've heard it, discussed since pre-pandemic. So this is a big deal, and to be able to continue to get grants like the GROW grant is really important, and to make it, what I understand to be both a separation project and a stormwater, more like green infrastructure, traditional green infrastructure project is great. So congratulations on, at least the agreement and that application.
I echo those comments, Eric. I think Alcosan doesn't get enough credit for their GROW program. I look at all of these programs around the country for green infrastructure, and the amount of money that Alcosan dedicates to these projects is very near the top of the list. So yes, congratulations. All those in favor of resolution number 31, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, resolution number 31 is approved. We move to resolution number 32. Rachel.
Approving the award of a capital contract for the construction of the 2022 small diameter water main replacement contract A1 to Independent Enterprises, the budget of $15,364,131.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second. Jim Martin.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 32, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 32 is approved. Resolution number 33.
Approving the award of a capital contract for construction of the 2022 small diameter water main replacement contract A2 to Independent Enterprises with a budget of $14,684,231.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Jay, any discussion? The primary differences, Rachel, between A1 and A2, besides geography or?
Basically location. So A1 is in Squirrel Hill and A2, I believe, is Brighton Heights.
Very good.
We also split up this A contract. We had hoped to award it last year, but we could not because of budget. It was combined into one. So we also split it up into two in the hopes of to encourage more bidders and also get better pricing, which we did. These came in within.
Is it classified as 2022?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, it was delayed for a couple reasons, one of which was budget.
Very good. Thank you. All those in favor of resolution number 33, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 33 is approved. And we bring Kevin up. You guys wanted to just stretch your legs a little bit so you could go back and forth.
Exactly. Resolution number 34, authorizing the securing of funding by the PWSA from Penvest in the aggregate maximum principal amount of $32,058,100 for the 2024 A neighborhood lead service line replacement program.
Great. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Peg.
Okay,
I'll second.
BJ second. Any discussion?
Kevin, could you clarify if this is a grant or a loan?
It will be funded partially both ways.
Okay.
Give me a second here. If I can get the exact dollar amounts for you. The loan amount is $18.2 million with the grant amount totaling 13.7 approximately.
Thank you. Yep.
Any other questions or comments for Kevin?
I have a question out of curiosity. In the unlikely event we don't find any lead service lines. I noticed the payment on this is probably in segments, if not all, but is there a provision for like, we don't need the money anymore?
That's a good question. I don't think we've ever experienced that.
I'm saying it's, lightning may strike here.
But But within that work to identify the lines, there still are eligible costs for reimbursement. So in that event, we would submit costs that were eligible for reimbursement, alert Penvest that, you know, we don't have any lead service lines in that area, work to close out that, and therefore release the remaining balance of whatever they had benchmarked within their program or state revolving fund back to Penvest to then issue out in the next grant or application period.
But you don't get the money in a lump sum, so you have to apply
Reimbursement.
once you do the work.
Correct.
and then for reimbursement, so.
Correct. Yeah, so this resolution is to secure and accept the funds. The next resolution, Resolution 35, will authorize us to front the money from PWSA's cash and then submit reimbursements to Penvest.
And those are pretty timely, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, we throughout the project, we try to submit them in obviously a timely manner because we want to recoup our money as quickly as possible to replenish our cash balance. We typically try to stay on top of those monthly, but definitely quarterly.
Good. Any other questions or comments regarding resolution number 34? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 34 is approved. Resolution number 35.
Resolution number 35, approving the reimbursement resolution for the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement project as part of the Penvest closing process.
Thank you. May I have a motion? So moved. Jamil, is there a second?
Second.
Erica, any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 35, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 35 is approved. Move to resolution number 36. And Rachel back up here.
I'm back. Approving the award of a capital contract for the construction of the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement contract A1 to A Felino Construction with a budget of $9,867,543.21.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Big. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 36, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? All right, resolution number 36 is approved. We move to resolution 37.
Approving the award of a capital contract for construction of the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement contract A2 to Maley and Maley and Sons with a budget of $10,182,953.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second. Thanks, Jamil. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 37, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 37 is approved. We move to resolution number 38.
Approving the award of a capital contract for the construction of the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement contract A3 to Independent Enterprises with a budget of $9,977,258.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
BJ, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Erica. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 38, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 38 is approved. We move to the final resolution, resolution number 39.
Approving entering into an agreement of cooperation with Alcacian for the design and construction for the Ohio River Tunnel Project.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second. Thanks, Jamil. So discussion. So it's a big project, obviously, Rachel. What does our cooperation mean here?
Right, so this covers the facilities that we own and operate that might be affected by this first of the three Alcacian tunnels. So they'll pay for the relocations, and we will pay for any betterments. So currently we have one planned betterment, and the cost of that is estimated at $17,000. So we need to execute an agreement for that.
Does this include all the diversion structures along the Ohio River that we may own? Or is this any facility that is, along the scope of work?
I believe this is any facility for this particular tunnel, but I can confirm that.
Very good.
I have a question also. Do we have an idea of the schedule for this work and the overall scope of the entire project? How many years is it expected to take? And is there an order of magnitude of cost that you're familiar with from their standpoint?
For Alcosan's project,
Correct.
James?
For the construction, yes.
I know enough to be dangerous and probably not enough to speak about that in this forum, but we can certainly get some information to the board about that, about their tunnel.
It's a very
The first of this.
significant.
It's huge. Yeah,
Okay.
it's huge. Yeah.
What is the scope of time? Do we know? Like when it
It's-
starts and how many
It's
years?
years. I think all three tunnels are probably 10 to 12 years out. I don't think the first one is pretty close, I think, to potentially being awarded. But yeah, it's a many year project.
Good. Thank you.
Assume that the total, or at least this phase of the program goes as far as 2036 at time
Good.
with Alcosan's. And as you're saying, these are huge projects. These are tunnels that are 150 to 200 feet below the ground surface, 10 feet in diameter, total 17 miles along the rivers. This is just for the Ohio River project. So there'll be tunnels along Lamont and the Allegheny as well. I tell some of my friends about this project, and I say this is mind boggling in terms of the scope of this work, but the cost is in the $5 or $6 billion range in today's dollars, I think. So it is a huge project, something very, very much needed in our area. Something that is all about clean water and our environmental stewardship of the rivers and so forth. So congratulate Alcosan for moving forward with these projects. And, I know that we will be cooperating. We meet regularly with Alcosan on these projects.
That's a great example of geotechnical engineering. So I'm proud to have worked on many projects like that. I love Congress.
Any other questions for Rachel? Comments? All those in favor of resolution number 39, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 39 is approved. Is there any other business that needs to come before the authority board this morning? Hearing none, on behalf of the board, we wish everyone, staff, vendors, stakeholders, the board, a happy Memorial Day weekend. Let's not forget those that came before us and those that served to provide the freedom we enjoy today. So let's start. If I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Meeting is adjourned.